Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, it has been about a week since Apple released iOS 26.4.1, and I want to break down everything you need to know, including what's new, what's improved, and more importantly, if you should upgrade. I've been using this for the whole week, and I got some really good thoughts about this and kind of the direction Apple seems to be heading. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. First off, if you are not aware, iOS 26.4.1, anytime you see a double dot release, you guys know it is a minor update, meaning you're not going to really be getting flashy new features. It's more about bug fixes, security patches, and performance improvements. 26.4.1 has a build number of 23E254, and this is the first major public release since 26.4 rolled out, obviously. And yeah, it's time to talk about what Apple focused on here. And some of the things that they have done is fixing bugs from iOS 26.4, improving system stability, and addressing security vulnerabilities. And yeah, it seems to have done just that pretty well. As you're aware, like we said, there is no major new changes here. What you want to do, obviously, is to make sure you are up to date by going into Settings, General, About, or just clicking on Software Updates and seeing if you are running 26.4.1. And if you go to Software Updates, you'll see that. If you go to About an iOS version, you'll be able to see it right there or on the prior screen as well. Sometimes your iPhone will update overnight. Sometimes you'll see an alert. Sometimes you don't. I don't understand the issues with consistency right now in iOS, but that is how you need to check if you are up to date or if you have an update available. As far as performance, this is where I did notice the biggest difference. After 1 week, everything has opened significantly faster. I haven't seen any dropped frame rates at all. Animations do feel smoother. There's been less stuttering, especially on my Air. When I was pulling down the control center or actually going to Spotlight search, I was seeing significant issues where this would not always be the case. You can see just how fluid and smooth everything is actually working, scrolling through Apple's own apps and even third-party games. You can see exactly how well everything is opening. Let's go into, let's jump back into Freeform. Little splash screen. This is actually not new. I just haven't opened it on my iPhone Air recently. But you can see how well everything does seem to be kind of operating. What I wanted to show you, and I purposely opened Clash Royale out. I want to show you how well everything's holding in memory. So now if we jump all the way back into Clash, you can see it did not restart it. Everything stayed exactly how it should be. So that is definitely good to see. Also, like I said, I was experiencing a weird glitch here on the control center where when I would scroll, it would kind of hiccup once. Oh, there it was. There's a slight one there, but nothing major. You can see just how smooth all of that is working as well. And then what a question a lot of people always want to know is battery life also. Standard drain does seem to be improved. Screen on time is slightly better and less background battery drain for apps. It's definitely not a major jump. Again, this is my backup phone, so I don't have the best readings on here, but everything has worked well while it's been off the charger, and I'm really actually impressed in standby time. Standby has been great. I do use this for some B-roll sometimes. I actually just did over the weekend shooting a video on the Tesla Model Y and a range test. It worked perfectly fine, and the battery drain just sitting off the charger for the weekend was amazing, even on the Air that has a smaller battery. And then also, one thing that we've been talking about for a while now is actually the keyboard. So in notes, you can see I have this long running note here for the keyboard test, and I do want to show you how well it's been working on this build. So there are three major ways that you're going to interact with your keyboard and to type messages. It's voice, predictive text, and actually typing. And I guess you can say swipe to text even. So let's start with voice to text. What is going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. I hope you all are having a great day. What are your plans for the day? What do you want to see in the next iOS 27 major release update? And you can see it worked out very well there. And then the issue is when you were typing too quick, the keyboard wasn't coming up. Let's go ahead and test that out really quick. And you can see yet again, it worked pretty well. It even noticed it shouldn't have, or actually I thought it was noticing it shouldn't have a period there. It should have been a question mark since that's a question, but clearly that was incorrect. And then the predictive text line, you can see just how well it's working also. I have talked about this, and I actually just did on my video yesterday on iOS 26.5 betas. But I was having an issue where the predictive text line was not showing up. When this doesn't show up, that is really where you start experiencing spelling errors, grammatical errors, and things like that, where it is not auto-correcting to what it should be, even if it realizes something is not correct. So that is something I did want to let you guys know. I have not experienced it here, but oddly enough, on the iOS 26.5 betas, including beta 2 that just came out, I am experiencing it there. So that is something we'll have to keep watching. I would also say notifications do seem to be more reliable. If I have both of these iPhones side by side, the Air does always get notifications quicker than my 17 Pro Max. It is the weirdest thing, but it is consistently quicker, especially emails and things like that. X alerts, it is 100% quicker on this phone for some odd reason. And then Bluetooth. I have been using the Sonos Ace headphones with this, and the connection has not dropped once. It has been very consistent and worked very well also. And then really the security update piece. If you actually jump into the security releases here, Apple does break down each version, letting you know about the security updates. And well, as you can see, 26.4.1 does not have any published CVE entries. It just lets you know what versions it's available for and when it was released. But unlike 18.7.7 and even other ones before that with iOS 26.4, you cannot click into it to get a thorough breakdown, unfortunately. So that is something you'll have to keep in mind. Obviously, security updates are a huge deal. And well, with iOS 26.4.1, this is patching things that could have been potentially exploited, which is always why Apple recommends updating ASAP. So even if you don't care about the performance alone, this alone is a good reason to update as well. So it's a resounding yes if you are waiting and wondering if you should update, if you have not waited, or if you did wait and hoped to see how the performance has went for the last week. It is safe to say you are good to go and get this update. Maybe you'll want to wait if you're on a beta version, but right now Apple betas have been so intermittent and kind of all over the place, it's not really worth waiting for. So even though it's not the most exciting update, it is smooth and reliable, and honestly, that's exactly what you'd want for a double dot release. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. How is it working for you? If you're having issues, let us know in the comments what device it's on so we can crowdsource some information. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.